The first step is to disconnect your battery by removing at least one of the leads and then waiting about 60 seconds before you do anything. This will prevent your airbag light from coming on. The next step, and probably the hardest of the whole job, is to remove the airbag. There are two pins holding the airbag in place, one on each side of the steering wheel. You access them through these little holes on either side of the steering wheel. Use a flathead screwdriver to go in through the side openings and move the pins. The flathead screwdriver should be parallel to the floor, giving you the most amount of surface area to move the pin, and it should also be as close to the front of the steering wheel as possible. That's the best angle. As you depress the pin, slowly pry out the airbag. It usually helps to go back and forth from side to side. Once you have the airbag completely out, go ahead and disconnect the pins on the back, the connectors. Just pop it up and it slides right out. The next step is to disconnect the connections from the steering wheel buttons to the actual steering wheel itself. There are two at the top and they just pull right out. Step 4 is the easiest. If you avoided the dealership and saved some money, please like or subscribe. Step 5 is to remove the 16mm bolt holding on the steering wheel. As you remove the steering wheel, go ahead and take note there's a notch in the bottom, and that helps to line up the steering wheel so you make sure that you put it back on in the correct spot that you took it off. Right there's the notch, and there's one matching on the housing that you'd slide it onto. Step 6 is useful for breaking down the actual steering wheel itself. This is useful if you have broken buttons like I did, or you want to replace the trim. If you're doing a one-for-one replacement, you just slide the new steering wheel on and tighten the 16mm bolt. There are two T20s on either side of the steering wheel on the inside, and then there's also two T20s on the back side of the sport steering wheel at the bottom. After you remove the front face of the steering wheel, you can separate the top and bottom trim pieces. They're held on by 4 T20 bolts. This is again useful if you're putting new trim on the bottom or replacing the top buttons.